Hello, and welcome to The Diaries of Ordinary People, the podcast that brings you raw, unfiltered, and honest stories from everyday experiences. I'm your host, Ash, and each episode we dive into personal diaries and journals to uncover the heartfelt moments and challenges that connect us all. So, whether you're commuting, taking a break, or just winding down, join us as we explore real and authentic lives. This is The Diaries of Ordinary People. Hi, Paul. Thank you for being on. It's really nice to have.
It's fine. It's nice to be the first paid one to be on here.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
You know, get what 80%, right? Is that what we agreed?
Yeah.
Or that was your baseline?
That was my baseline. Take it or leave it. 80%.
I like it. It's a good bargain.
Of every penny you earn from now on.
Or from now on, not particularly this episode.
Sorry, from this episode. Yeah.
That's
true.
Okay.
It's too harsh otherwise.
What have the past 12 months been like for you?
Past 12 months. Well, as you know, I've been working a lot at the minute, and I think I'm very tired and drained because I'm working too much. We had pizza last night, and I was too hungry that I couldn't really talk. But that was the last 24 hours, which feels like the past 12 months. Last 12 months. Last 12 months have been good. Building up towards a wedding, building up towards maybe moving away to another country to have a little life there. Trying to think. It just feels. I haven't thought about the past 12 months. I've just thought about tomorrow.
What's it like to be in that continuous go mode?
Oh, well, we live in London, so that is the mode. The mode is go or get left behind, I think.
Do you enjoy that?
Yeah. I know it's not forever, so I can be in that moment, or be in that turntable of, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. I'm very good at lists. If I have a list, and I complete it, easy. If I don't complete it, not so easy.
Okay. Do you hold yourself responsible if you don't complete like all those items, all those tasks?
I hold myself, responsible to what should be done for that day. But I'm also quite flexible in the sense of, okay, cool, this took longer than expected. This is far more difficult than I ever thought. And I can break each one of them down and realize why it didn't happen, for sure.
Where do you think your go mentality came from? Do you think it was because you've been in London for so long?
I think I've always had it from a very young age. I think it's always been a part of me. As you know, we used to be dancers.
Yeah.
So it's always you have to have that go. You can't be like, I don't feel like it today in the studio.
Yeah.
So not today. I think I'll do 20%. Yeah, 20% show day today. Thank you very much. I know that does exist sometimes in greater scheme of it, but I don't think I ever had that thought. And it's always been, all right, let's do it. Let's work hard. And I think coming from a dancer point of view of life, which is you have to have gratification in what you do somehow. So for me, it's always about physicality. If I'm physically being stretched or physically being worked, or my brain, even the sense, is being expanded and trying to, like, it has to have a contraction in order for me to think and do things and push through. That's an enjoyed feeling for me. So
you mentioned about it coming from like a young age. What do you think your first memory of your go was?
I think the go. I think it's a drive more than go from a young age. Now, the go sensation is from specifically London, but the drive feeling of always having to do something. So I think the go feeling from London is an external, and the drive, which I had younger, is internal. So internally, I wanted to, should do all those. Build up to a sentence is, so when I was younger, there was a drive, which then gave me a sensation of, I have to keep going. And now we're in London, the external is, I have to go and make sure I keep up with the expenses of London, the feeling that London is, the fact that no matter what tube or train you're on, you're always busy, you're always around someone. There's that sensation of go, go, go. But when I was younger, the drive came from mainly the gym and having to being accountable for, I'm going to be here at this time, I'm going to do this, and then have that feeling of turning up for the things that are important to me when I was at that age. Then slowly bled into the rest of my life, which is then how I went into dancing. And again, another thing, you have to turn up. You don't have a choice of easing off the pedal when you feel like it, because you have to fit someone else's criteria, someone else's demands, because that's what that role is.
It's what it requires.
Yeah.
So how did you get into dance? I don't actually know that.
Do you not?
No.
Oh. So I just started breakdancing at a very young age. So, and that's actually how I met a few of the lads. Dan, Jamie, Scott, I don't know if you know Scott Christie as well. And
why breakdancing?
I don't know. Well, actually it turned out, so a good friend of my mum's called Carol called up and she was like, hey, does Paul want to come to breakdance lessons? And that's literally how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah. And my first reaction was, I'm not doing that shit. that's I literally said, I said that's for ponces, I think.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
Back then when I was like 12. You know what I mean? Not that I ever think that now. But it was just the language at the time, which is not right. But I was like, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
That was my first reaction. And then I started doing it, I saw it. I was like, okay, cool. So we traveled to go sign in Swansea. We do little sessions on a Monday, and then I would do rugby, and I would do all sorts. And then dancing just slowly took over. It became more of a passion, and I was always practicing, I was learning. It was never once a week, it was like 2 or 3 times a week. And I was weight training as well. So both of those things require you to put the effort in. And then both of them require you to turn up and do what you need to do. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I think from those two things, they gave me a base of how to work and how to make sure you're achieving that way.
And do you think that the kind of the drive and the go, go, go mentality, or even just the drive that you got at a young age is really... So how do you think the drive that you have had since you were younger has kind of aided who you are today?
I think it gives me like a responsibility to make sure I'm never stagnant for too long. Like I tend to have a 2 or 3 year period of intense focus in the space, take what I can from the space, by a role or a job or whatever, and then I tend to move on, either onto something better or something completely different. And I think I enjoy always learning, really enjoy learning. So for me to be, like now I'm thinking of doing like a plumbing course, just to have something else I can learn about, which I've never ever studied before or learned anything else about before. And I don't know where it came from, I just suddenly went, okay, let's do it. And now I'm looking into courses, and I'm going to pay pretty soon for a brand new course. I'll study for 2 years and become a fully qualified plumber.
Nice.
Why, I don't know, but I have a drive to do it, and I want to do it, and I made my mind up, and now I'm going to do it. And that's it.
Do you ever find that it's a hindrance sometimes, kind of not, or wanting to kind of change what you're doing so frequently, or every kind of 2 or 3 years?
No, I enjoy it. I don't like that. Sometimes I get super stubborn in the sense of, this is what I'm doing now. And if anything else gets in the way, I'm like, well, that's irritating. This is what I'm doing. I'm not changing my plan.
How do you find, like, how do you adapt to that? Like, what are your...
Oh, I don't. 9 times out of 10, I don't. It has to be a big thing for me to change it. And
Okay.
when I made up that mind, yeah, there's very low chance of it happening, of me changing my plan.
Where do you think that kind of such bold stubbornness comes from?
You met my mum?
Valid.
Yeah. No, I think it's just a sense of, if I veer off my plan,
Yeah.
it will not get done. And I know historically that is what's happened, especially me growing up, where I've had multiple choices and I've tried to do lots of things at once. I just cannot manage that. I have to either do something very direct, and this is what I'm doing, and that's what I do, and I do it very well because I commit a lot of time to it. I make sure it is good. I cannot run 3 things where I have to 3 things at the same time. I do a job, complete it, do a job, complete it, which is why the list comes in. Now I have more to organize. I do the list, complete the list, complete number 1, done, complete number 2, done. Or what if, because say if a task is longer than I expect, and then I have to do something else, i.e. like I'm run a job site and the job is 6 months. I can't commit solely for that for 6 months. I'm only doing this for 6 months. That's different because there's other things that come up whilst you're on that job. So then I would always write, okay, number 1, organize this. If that takes longer than I think, I do a dash. I write what's happened and where I'm at on it. So I have the latest update, and I run off that. And then with the date, with the times, etc. So everything is like broken down. And then I can see it, and then I know what's next. And that is how I then manage myself that way with the long-term projects. That make sense?
Yeah.
A lot of information at any given time, but I always forget everything. So that's why I write it down.
I set myself lots of reminders and write down lots of things as well. I don't blame you.
Yeah, so that's what I do. It works.
Do you still dance?
I still dance, yes. I don't feel like a dancer anymore.
No?
No. I mean... No, I don't feel like a dancer anymore.
Why not?
No, I've just really done a lot of weightlifting in the past year. Enjoyed that and focusing on that.
Kind of transitioned away from a dancer more to like a weightlifter, powerlifter.
Movement-wise, yeah. But I really want to start CrossFit because I think that is a lot of transferable skills. Because I'm not so interested in... Like when I was younger, I could do flips and stuff for a little while. And I'm from breakdancing, I can move in that way.
Yeah.
But now I don't think I want to. Plus, I don't think my back can do anymore. I think if I do one flip, I land. It's like, there you go, there's 2 compressed discs for you, Paul. Or have a celebration on the floor in a fit. Yeah, I think that would happen now.
So you've been dancing for a long time, right? 16, 17 years?
Yeah.
What was your kind of like your favorite period of dance for you?
Me, I enjoyed the training.
Okay.
Every day you woke up, every day you pushed.
And where was that in?
Yeah, I did a year in Bath University. I did 3 years at Northern School of Contemporary Dance, and I did a postgrad in Motion House.
Okay.
And then we learned some of their shows and did a couple of shows for them as well. I think we did one with young kids, which is really cool. And they had to play around on the set, etc. It was really interesting. Yeah, really interesting.
Nice.
And I think all that period was great because so much was new,
Yeah.
And also we met some really good people, like young people who just want to train, have the same mentality. they turn up every day and they just work.
They've got that drive.
Yeah. Imagine being around that. And imagine having, you see your friend improve and you're like, shit, I've not improved in like
X time.
Yeah. And I have to work a bit harder. Okay, what am I not doing? How am I not applying myself? But also, I was with a group of friends who would always ask these questions. And they would be accountable for us as well. And they actually still some of my best friends now. But I think once you go through that bubble of we're here to train and be these dancers, you really open yourself up to learn a lot about yourself and the others around you. And I think that is what artistry is, or what it means to be an artist. You're sharing a part of yourself that you can't necessarily explain. Yeah.
Do you still think you're surrounded by or do you still think you have enough of those people in your life, the people that are driven, like your group were?
Yeah, my main circle of friends are very driven, very artistically driven, and yeah, they all work hard. There's no question about that. And well, my partner, she's also got her own company. She does all of that. She's making things happen. She does a great job at that, and she never stops. So, yeah.
I was going to say, do either of you find time to slow down at all?
Yeah, she takes me away on holiday.
Oh, she takes you away?
Yeah. She says, we're going on holiday, and then I go. That's it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I just keep working.
Yeah.
I just keep going. And so it's good that she does that.
Do you ever burn out?
Oh, yeah. I'm in constant burnout, I think. Constant.
So do you think that working from a place of constant burnout or working from like a deficit is a good way to be?
Oh, no. But this is why I'm trying to make things better. So I put a few things in place where I want to get contacted in emergencies, or I know that if I'm discussing something outside of work, I know that I give myself a short amount of time to deal with it, and I go, cool, I'm done. And I've started saying, cool, we can discuss this in the morning, thank you very much, bye-bye. You know, I'm trying to really put a line in and be like, yeah, it's not important right now.
You're like, when you're in work, your hours are your hours and nothing outside of that almost.
Yeah, unless, as I said, unless there's an emergency and then I have to go do something or deal with something, but then that's different. Then that is all hands on deck, let's do this, which is different.
Yeah. We spoke about dance a lot, and we spoke about gym over the past few years, what kind of passions have you gained in the last few years versus what you had when you were younger?
I don't think it's changed. It's the same thing of working hard, getting things done. I get happiness from that. If I have like small achievements throughout the day, that makes me happy. If I go home to my house, I sit, I relax, I'm with my little world in my house. That's happy. You know, it's happiness. And as long as I'm working hard and I'm going, cool, I'm still having something new and I'm having to work to learn, and I'm happy with that. It's just the same thing. Just the same thing as I started this conversation with. It has to be a continuous sense of movement forward. If I feel like I'm in the same space for too long, then I really struggle and I get frustrated, and then usually that lasts about 2 or 3 years and then I leave.
Okay.
So that's what happens. And that is why I leave.
And we spoke there about your drive and kind of your continuous want for movement. What other kind of core values do you feel like you have? My core value massively is respect.
Okay. And yeah, respect is a huge thing for me. As soon as I think either someone has disrespected someone I love or disrespected me in like a blatant, like, just throwaway moment, I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, why? It's just. And I think that is getting lost in a lot of the world. Everyone's become so entitled to a lot of things, which I don't think should be given so fast. I do believe the older qualities of show what you're worth, work for it, and then get it. But that also means time. That also means consistency. That also means dedication. I think it's the thing of respect is not yours all the time. You know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have grown up to think, I already have this respect. I can walk in a room and I should be respected. And I think that is what a lot of people think now, as opposed to, hey, nice to meet you, I'm so-and-so, this is what I do. And that's really interesting. I'm going to learn a bit about you, because that's also good, because I have a commitment to a society where I have to make sure everyone's good in the world. And I feel like everyone's just thinking about what's good for me, you know? And I feel like from that mentality, a lot of respect is lost. And it's just this entitlement of, I already have your respect and I've never met you before. So,
Where do you think that comes from, people's entitlement or perceived entitlement?
I don't know. But there's been a very big shift, I think, in a lot of social circles, and yeah, I just think everyone should just be nice to each other. You know, and I feel like a lot of it is lost where people are just going, yeah, I think, what am I trying to say? I think everyone should be nice to each other, and I think everyone is just thinking about themselves. Yeah, a lot of the time. I mean, I think everyone falls into it, but there's other circles where people have more time to chat to you, or people have more time to sit with you, or... What was the question?
Where do you think the sense of entitlement or perceived entitlement has come from?
Okay, I think it's a change of what is expected from younger people. I think it comes from an educational point where people are coddled too much these days. They have too much acknowledgement or too much power from a young age, where I think it should be, even like the way that parents are speaking to the kids. When a kid is acting up, the kid can do whatever he wants. The parents just stand there until it's stopped. When I was raised, it was stop, and we would stop.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you should beat your child or anything, but there should be a parameters of what is okay and what is not okay. And I think that is lost a lot. You know, whereas like the kid will do whatever he wants, and the parent just waits. I'm never going to beat my kids, don't get me wrong, but I'm always going to be like, this is what's correct for me, and this is what you think is correct. We have to meet somewhere in the middle, because life is not going to work this way. You can't just start sulking in the middle of the street because you didn't get something your way. And I feel like that is happening a lot in adults. A lot of adults are sulking in the streets because they can't get their own way.
Do you think it will be like, in the next 5 years, how do you see the future playing out from that perspective?
I don't know. But I mean, we see it now. People are angry. People can't express how they feel without starting violence. I get that there's frustrations, sure, but I don't think violence is the answer. I mean, look at protests in the past. They would do peaceful protests that achieved so much in so many different circumstances. Peaceful protests. Yes, one side may have been angry and whatever, but they didn't react. They just peacefully protested. And so much was achieved. So why is it that people feel like they can riot now, cause all this trouble for the people?
What's your views on the current kind of rioting situation?
I mean, I think
It's a big
awful.
question.
I think it's awful that anything has to come to this kind of level of violence. And the worst thing is that people who are in the middle, like there have been libraries that have been burnt down. And those are good resources.
We were talking about that yesterday, yeah.
Those are spaces where everyone benefits and then everyone loses. Do you know what I mean? And also a lot of these places are majority the poorest places, like a library. You think that has lots of money? You think that has lots of funding?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's all government funded. It's getting less and less and less and harder and harder and harder to do. Keep a source like that open. And they're often big, beautiful buildings that require a lot of work and maintenance.
They do, yeah.
And also then there's just the amount of information that's inside. That can change someone's life. One person's life would drastically change if he went to this library and found this book. That went, oh, this is the thing I'm going to do. And I think for me, in my dreaming life, that upsets me because even now that I could change my life by going to a library, reading something that inspires me so much. You know? It's a shame. And it's sad. It's just sad that people lose out because of the anger of other people.
Yeah, the select few.
The destroying capability of that.
If you could if you could say one thing that you think's really important to keep in mind whilst the current situation is going on, and especially London, it's happening quite a lot in London at the moment. Like, what would you say is really important for people to keep in mind about the future, or about kind of resources that are available to them in relation to the current situation?
I wouldn't say so much about resources at the minute. I think it's sad that the resources, specifically I mentioned the library, is being burnt down, but I think it's more about a cultural openness. I get there's going to be different cultures, and I get there's going to be different ways of doing things, and there's right and wrong in each and every single one of them. You know? But there should always be a common thread of we still exist. You know? And we have to make it work. How we exist.
Do you have any regrets, Paul?
No. I'm happy with what I've done. I worked hard to be here. I'm really trying to think if I have any.
You don't have to. You don't have to have regrets. I think it's nice to be accountable for everything that's happened and accepting of it. I think it's a rare trait. I think quite a lot of people hide from what they've done sometimes.
I mean, I've done stupid things, but there's always a short reaction to it, but never. Afterwards, you'd apologize, but, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, But you kind of hold on to it forever. So no, I have no regrets. I am where I am. I'm still a nice person.
We mentioned earlier talking about your happiness. Like you said that when you have a list and you do kind of little, or you do each like item on the list, that gives you like a little boost of happiness or dopamine, or kind of however you want to release it. Are you happy in general?
Yeah. I'm very serious. I'm very happy.
Cool. How do you think your view of happiness has changed over the years? Because I think, for me, 10 years ago, my view of happiness was a lot different to what it is now.
Yeah. I think now my happiness is, because I've become 32, my happiness is now trying to set a life like where I want a family, I want a nice house, I want things, my ducks in a row. I know it's never going to happen, or my ducks being in a row, because life happens. Something else will come up, something else will alter the rhythm, and that's fine. I don't feel like there's nothing I couldn't deal with. Even if it was a death or whatever.
So speaking about your ducks in a row, where do you see like the next 5 years going for you?
I would like to be in France after 5 years.
Mm.
Have a house, have kids.
Why France?
My missus is French,
Ah.
so we'll go there.
Hmm.
And also, why would you not want a nice house in the sun with a swimming pool?
I don't think you could cope with the sun.
Oh, I could. I just wear a big ass hat. I could do that. I think after a year I'd be fine. My skin would...
It would adapt, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd get...
Or I'd just be like a fucking pancake and just flip me over. Because I'd be like on the floor like a sweat pool. You know?
That's really nice. What, south of France, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I don't know yet. We'll move out there, rent places for 6 months, see what happens. See where we like. And then maybe get somewhere.
It's quite desirable, the south of France at the moment.
I think it always is. It provides something that the UK doesn't.
Reliable heat.
No, I think the pace of that is different.
Yeah. What's the pace like?
Slow.
I think there's certain parts of the UK that are slow.
Different slow.
Okay, when you say different slow, what do you mean?
As in, your day-to-day, I've seen it a lot actually, your day-to-day would be like, you'd walk along the river or the sea, you know, and people have their coffee, they sit. Very, very different kind of slow. And also the heat as well makes you slow down. Physically makes you slow down. So even if you're in a rush, like...
It's a slow rush.
And then there's also the French mentality, which is... meh.
Whoa, strong.
Meh. As in, it's like, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
There's that mentality. Like, nothing is so important that it can't ruin their day. Like, nobody would rush a coffee in France. At least this is my experience from the places I've been, which tends to be the beautiful south of France, holiday places, some places like that, and the quiet villages. Oh my god, the quiet villages, the small villages in France. Good luck if you get anything done. But it's a way of life. It sure is like a way of life. I think that's when I'll slow down. I think I'll go from my go drive to this is my home, and that's okay.
All right. Where else have you been? I know you've been to quite a lot of places dancing.
Lots of places I can't even think. And you know the best thing is, I forget where the hell I've been. So I have to ask Laura, my partner, I have to say, have we been there? Yeah. She goes, yes, we have. We went there, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, that sounds nice. So, did we enjoy?
Did we?
I just forget. So, I think I forgot we went to Costa Rica.
It's because you haven't written it down and put a list, mate.
Yeah. But I think it's just... Yeah, I've been all over Mexico. Reunion was great. Reunion was a beautiful little country, little island. Again, all these places are where Laura wants to go, and I just casually follow. So, where you going, my love? Oh, I'll come with you. That sounds nice.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah. You going for how long? Oh shit! I better come with you then.
Yeah. Oh, I've just got to.
Yeah.
Just got to.
Yeah.
So if you had like your dream thinking, what's your, not place to live, but if you're living in the south of France, what would be your ideal, like?
I think for me, I would love like a little cottage, but somewhere cold. I like the cold.
You think the south of France is the place to be for cold?
I just want to change.
Fair.
You know, there'll be air conditioning in France. There'll be a swimming pool in France. There'll be, a tree I can sit under in the shade. It's cooler.
Just had an image of you holding an umbrella.
No, that's
looking for a tree.
That still counts. That's
yeah,
shade.
It does.
But I mean, it's just, I just want the slow pace, and I want to, I just want to change. Like I know London never has and never ever will be forever.
Yeah.
It's just come in, do the job, get the money, save, do what you can, and then question what could be next.
And how do you feel living in London, like with the kind of the current state of the climate and like the cost of living and all that? Like, are you feeling financially safe in the space that we're in?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm very careful with money. I never grew up with a lot of money, so I was always like, once I have it, I'm just going to manage it well, look after it, save. We spoke about it yesterday and today, but like, I have a 6 months emergency saving plan. Sorry, I have 6 months
Emergency
fund, and that is if I lose my job and I go, wow, what can I do next? I have 6 months buffer. And like, I think even to be in that position is very lucky. But that took time. That took me looking at my finances, going, what can I do? I had to get a better paid job, which I did. I had to do, stop these crazy spends on 100 quid a night out, 200 quid a night out, because I want to get drunk with my friends. Now I drink very little, and I go for quality food, which does cost a lot in London especially, but it's quality food.
Yeah.
Like, I pay good money for good beer or good money for good spirits, and they last way longer because I spent so freaking much on them. So I have to make them stretch.
I think it's a massive mindset shift when kind of because it sounds like from how you're saying it is that there was not a sudden, maybe it was a slow realization. But
no, it was a massive realization. And I sat down, I looked at it, and I thought, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not achieving anything I want to do. I was enjoying myself, sure.
What was the catalyst for that? Was it a crazy night out or something?
No, I think I looked at my bank account and I was like, I'm working so hard on so many things, and I'm only getting this amount. And I have, I can't remember, I think I had like something like £700, £800 in my account. And I was like, yeah, but that's it. So it can't be just that. I'm not working for money, but I'm working for relief, I'm working for comfort, I'm working for security. You know, all these things which are important to everyone. No matter what they say. Oh, I'm just living in the moment, man. Holy fuck. You still want a house over your head. You still want a roof.
Yeah, you do.
Over your head. You still want food in your stomach, and you still want water in your stomach. You know? Those are things that everyone needs. And everyone should have.
Yeah.
In any shape, form, capacity. And that does require money. The odd case, sure, it doesn't. But you know where they live? In a nice place.
South of France.
No, but they tend to live in a hot country.
Yeah, true.
You know?
I'm really intrigued on this 6 months emergency fund kind of point that you brought up. Where did that number 6 months come from? Why is it that amount as opposed to 3 months or a year? Or?
Well, why not?
Well, just why not 6?
Yeah, I mean, at first it started off as 1 month. I was going to have 1 month emergency fund. So I worked on my average cost per month, and I had 1 month saved. And I was like, cool, let's have 2. Cool, let's have 3. All right, 3 is pretty good. And I was like, okay, in the extreme case, what happens if I lose everything? And yeah, so I was like, let's have 6 months. And I've stuck at 6 months. And I set a savings pot, I don't touch it.
Yeah.
It takes up to 30 days to come out.
So it's like a notice account.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it earns interest as this thing.
Yeah.
You know. But it's quite a good chunk. And if anything happens, it's there. So I know in 30 days I'll get the money that I'll need. So that also means I have to be constantly wary of what's happening.
Do you find yourself on edge a little bit here? Because I feel like you're quite settled and stable at the moment.
I'm not on edge. No, I'm good. I'm very happy, very content. I have my life. I know people around me. And even like the community around me have started to know me as well. So I walk around, I'm walking the street in London. I see people I know. Like sometimes in random places. Hey Paul, how are you? Oh, I haven't seen you for ages. Like things like this just happen now. And it's nice. It's nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So if you blue sky think it and you have unlimited funds but only 1 month, what are you doing?
Blue sky think it.
Yeah.
What's that?
So there's no rules, there's no kind of boundaries. If you can do whatever you want with unlimited funds, but you've only got a month.
What, to live?
No, so yeah. You've got 1 month. What are you doing in that month?
I'd go home to Wales. Go home to my Swansea village and just chill.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
The thing is, I've had a great life. I've had a great life where I've gone and done anything I've ever wanted to do. And now I'm getting older, I'm missing Wales, I'm missing my country, I'm missing the accent, missing, just different life. And I've lived in big cities, so now, even if I was to move to France, I move into a very quiet village or something where the pace is slower. And I think a part of me really move back home to Wales and just live out my days. 31 apparently.
Would you go to would you go like back to Pencloud or?
Yeah, I think so. Spend time with family.
You know when you go down the main road and like there's that car park and you can sit and you can look out over like that.
That is actually a thing I always do, and then I always have a Guinness and I sit by that pub.
Yeah. And
I just watch the sunset. And that is always a beautiful moment for me, and it's just really nice to do that. Yeah, it's really nice. I think in that village of Pencloud, time does just stand still. It's nice though, because it's not affected by a lot of the outside world. You know?
Even when you're in Swansea, it's relatively out of the way.
But I mean, comparison to say the big cities.
Yeah.
By the time it reaches there, it'll be. I always say Pencloud is 10 years behind with everything, like technology or. Not that I'm saying that that's important, but it's just like it really is content with being itself and having its own self to exist with. And I think that's quite nice, because here it's just go. Next best thing, next money earner, next whatever. New hot topic, all that stuff. Whereas in Pencloud it's just, I'll see you down the pub at 6, yeah?
Thank you, Paul. I really, really appreciate talking to you. That was
no worries.